Hello, welcome once again. As we progress in learning that towards understanding and using the Flutter framework, we are going to be making a lot of changes, and then right now you realize that most of my tutorials don't have the theory aspect. I don't write a lot of theory for you. I just go on to give you the practical, and that's how things are going to now, because we have to start eating code. Okay, good. So today we are going to focus on functions, and as I mentioned in subsequent videos, the main function, okay, that's the entry point of all that programs. So right about here you can see void main, so that is a function. So the entry point of your program itself is a function. Okay, so now what are functions? Good. So functions will allow you to execute a block of code, okay, at several different places, or it makes your coding easier by organizing it in block of codes. Okay, so right now you realize that any other thing inside here is what executed as um the code inside the function. So I'm going to declare some few functions, and then we'll see how it's going to. So we'll declare functions, we would call functions, and then we will return results from functions. Okay, so right now I'm going to clear out this, and then today we are looking at functions. So I'm going to create functions below here. So addition. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So we are going to create a function which is addition function, right? So what that function is going to do is that we pass numbers to it, first number, second number, and then it's going to what, sum the functions. Okay, sum the numbers we pass as parameters. Okay, now you may not know what parameters are, okay, or you haven't even seen a function being declared. So let's start from somewhere. That means I'm going to create another function before addition, the addition function. Okay, and that one is just going to be what? Let me just call it a function, and that one will print out something for us. Okay, so this how we declare a function in what? That. Okay, so first we have to pass the type, the name of the function, and then the brackets. If you are passing parameters, we pass in there. So let's go on. So void, and then the function name, print text, and then we call our curly braces, and inside it what we just want to do is to what, print hello. This is a function. All right, so let's bring this here, and then we will call the function inside our main function. Okay, so print text. So right now what I have just done is to create a function, and then right here I created a function, I declared a function, and then inside the function I'm asking it to print hello. This is a function, and then I'm calling the function inside our main function. Okay, so this is declaration of a function, and this is a call of function. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so we have hello. This is a function printed on our screen. Okay, that means when the main function executes, to call the function print text, and then this function will be executed. So in another way, it would have just been this. It would have just been print hello. This is a function inside the main function. Okay, but the reason why functions becomes very useful here is assuming I want to use it in several places. That means I'll be repeating the same source code. I'll be duplicating codes around my project. Okay, but when you use functions, it makes it easier. What you just have to do is to call the function name when you want it, and then the code in the block will be executed. All right, so I'm going to now work on our addition function, and that is when I'll introduce parameters to you. Okay, so we have void. First I'll just print it out, then I will then introduce the returning results from a function. Okay, so first it's just going to be void, and I'm going to say add numbers. Let me make it numbers, then bracket open. So I'm going to do here is to pass parameters. Okay, so the first parameter I'm going to pass is what? Is going to be var num. The second okay, just a minute, let me make it a number, so int, and then what I'm going to call here is num1, comma, another int, and then num2. Okay, and then I'll bring my clip braces. So what the function will do in the block is to print brackets open num1 plus num2. So I'm adding number one and number two. Okay, so now let's call that function in here. So we have add numbers, and then I'm going to pass 7, and then the second number will be 10. Wait, I know you have already guessed what it will print out, right? So let's see it on our screen. So I didn't comment out the first function, so we are still going to have the hello, this is a function printed, and then the results of the second function. So you see we have 17 right here on our console. Okay, so that means this function is being executed and is summing up these numbers. So let me take out this function call. All right, so we have only the sum number, so we can call it again with different numbers. So we can call it again with maybe 100, and then just a random number. Okay, let's add that. Okay, so let's run it. All right, so it's added. So we have 9,108. Okay, 9,108. All right, so right now I'm going to bring the return. Okay, so we are going to look at returning something from a function. So let me clear this also out. We are not going to call it anymore. So now we are going to call we are going to create a function, and it's going to return something. Okay, and whatever is returning, okay, should have a type. So for example, I want to return a function which I want to call a function and return a number from its execute. When it executes, it should return what? A number. Okay, now let's see how that works. So that means I should declare my function instead of void. I can say what? Int. Okay, and then sum. Okay, and then brackets open. I'm going to bring the parameters int num1, comma, num2, sorry, int num2. Okay, it could even be num3. We could add more parameters. I'm leaving it at 2. Now what I'm going to return is the sum of the two numbers. So num1 plus num2. Okay, that's what I'm going to return. All right, so let's call that function here. So we are going to have print bracket open sum. Good, so let's print that out. Oh, sorry, I will have an error because I didn't call the parameters. Yes, I didn't pass any parameter. So 1 comma 3. Okay, so let's print that out. Okay, so we have 4. Okay, and the 4 you are seeing here is not a string. It's what? Integer, because we are returning a type int. Okay, so that is how you can return what? Results from a function. Now I can still do something like, okay, fine, so probably you have a function and then you want it to do some calculations, and then at the end of the calculation it should return the result for you to use for further processing. So in that sense, I could declare a value here which is int, and then I'll call it output, and then what I want is whatever results that's returned from the function call should be added to what, a certain number. So I want it to be added to 100. Okay, so I'll say 100 plus, then what am I doing? I'm going to call sum brackets open, then I'll pass numbers to it to sum for me. Okay, so 20 and then 32. So what this means is that it should sum two numbers, and then the result should be added to what, 100. Okay, so I could put this in a bracket. Okay, and then now I want to print out the output. So print output. All right, so let's print that out. Yes, fantastic. So it has found the two numbers, which is what, 52, and then it added it to 100. So we are having what, 152. Okay, so functions are very useful and one of the core, let me say, one of the pillars of what, programming. Okay, it makes your work easier. All right. So imagine just calls here. So if I wasn't going to call, that means that over here whatever is in here would have been what, the code that's been executed in this block would have been standing in here, then that same code would be here as well. So it would have mean that I'm repeating what, code that could have been kept in one place and called as and when I want it. So thank you very much for your time. That brings us to the end of functions, and please share, subscribe and like. Let's share so that more people would have the opportunity to learn from this channel. In videos to come, I'm not sure if it is the next, but I would be putting together what we have learned so far. I put it in a real working program so that we really appreciate what we have been doing since the beginning. Okay, thank you very much once again. See you next time.